Welcome to part 45 of Nino Kuni. So yeah, now we finally rescued all the three kingdoms. Now it's time to try to see if we can find Nazca and see if we can get to the bottom of this mess. Sure?
Come on, Oliver. It's not foggy there anymore. Come on, we've got to go.
Fair call, Pedro. Even in the main game, if you try to go there, of course you cannot land, but it's already foggy there, right?
Yeah, it's foggy, but
that's the reason you cannot land.
But as Pete just said, no, it's not. There, the big birdie picture. You mean like follow that bird? A big picture of a birdie?
Yes, silly, a big birdie, like Doodle Doo. Get Tenny to put his.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked over it in the previous part. Basically, you know how Gallus from the console showed up over here, the guy who helped us time travel.
Yeah.
For some reason, Pete calls him Doodle Doo.
Well, we didn't exactly talk over it. It was when you and Tio were having your technical difficulties.
True. Yeah. True. Anyway. Well, we can worry about that later.
Okay, let's take a ride on Tengri and see if we can find the place P's talking about.
All right.
Off we go.
I'm gonna take you for a ride. I'm gonna take you for a ride.
So yeah, from this point on in the game, we can actually use. No, actually, I wanted to show it. Basically, from this point on, you can actually go back to the airship by driving Tengri into it.
Oliver, why do we come back here?
To
To
show
show
something
it
off
off.
gameplay-wise.
Showcasing.
All right, to NASA.
But
Oh, actually,
first,
never mind.
tell.
Let me see what I'm gonna do here.
I think it's to contact.
All right, I'm gonna
ghost,
talk. Yeah,
Oh, goody.
let's talk to Horace.
Or
See how.
Ollie boy, I don't think this is where we're supposed to go.
Don't worry,
Side
we're just setting
side
up something
quests.
so that a side quest will actually be able to be done so we can kill two birds with one stone.
Priorities, man, priorities.
This is the good kind. It helps
Gotta do
us
side quests.
do more.
Gotta do side quests. It's a JRPG.
And hey, in games like Agony Returns, it's absolutely mandatory to do side quests.
Ugh.
Which kind of defeats the purpose of them being side quests when you think about it.
Yeah. You know, it's sad when Motomoto can even grasp the concept of side quests.
Which is weird because he has done better for that before.
Second.
Maybe. Well, then again, maybe he had to work with what very little they had budget-wise, since, to be fair,
no, Jova, because it was a big thing, but more another time.
Alright, I'll be back up, Horace.
Okay, Dweebs, it's you and me.
Actually, it's not, because he said he was burped. Ollie, you're here at last. I've been waiting for ages.
Ha ha ha, get it because he's dead.
Hi, Horace.
That
Hey,
Tail,
this
and
is...
remember, Tail, Watts is gonna be... Remember, you.
Okay, this is where we met him in the first place. Seems like flipping.
Dwebs, I thought you said you couldn't do Drippy's Welsh accent.
Make up your mind, Dweebs. Do you want the Drippy roll back or not?
That's what I counted. Everyone here is Welsh.
Dweebs, does this mean you're taking back the Drippy roll? Answer us straight.
Anyway,
Or else.
so for now, keep restrained to that, Dweebs.
What? What is it? Come on, man. Spit it out. Not to mention it's a bit too late for that anyway.
Patience, Pipsqueak. Ollie, I bet you want to solve another riddle before I tell you, don't you?
Because this reminds me of a puzzle.
I guess.
Yeah, he's Dick Clayton's son. You see the monument here? It has some Nazcaa runes on it.
Nazcan.
Whatever, Nazgul.
It's like NASCAR, only with a Z and an N.
They're a clue to
So
something
you
in its
mean-
companion.
So you mean that the White Witch reality is Danica Patrick?
Yes.
Can you tell us what it
That would be awesome, actually.
That's what she did. That's what she did after Sonic and All Stars Racing transformed.
Sure.
So yeah, like he said, this grave has Nazca riding into
Yeah,
it. So
it's a bit up there.
we're going to use
There we
it.
go. No,
Yeah.
that's actually a symbol.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was actually looking in the right. I didn't even whatever the point is. Nazcaa writing in there, so let's actually use the Nazcaa alphabet so we can decipher it what it is. Not the Wizard's Pledge, the Nazcaa alphabet.
Come on.
Nazcaa alphabet. Nazcaa alphabet. Fast
Good
Pedro, what are you
time.
doing?
Also,
Let me
in
see.
case you're wondering, Weebs might as well. Another consequence of the of this new part of the post
Oh,
game
never mind.
is
I think
that
I'm gonna. I actually think I took the advantage of this to actually show some stuff off. So hold on.
Anyway,
Let's
go
check
on.
out the chapter 6, creatures and familiars,
Stuff happened.
or 5 actually.
basically Weebs, since Shadow was defeated, basically you don't get any new broken-hearted side quest. Basically.
Obviously.
So if you're
Okay.
trying to go for 100% completion...
Hey, look, automata.
Yeah.
Automata.
Well,
Wow,
that's
foreshadowing.
that's the Latin term for a construct, so it's actually common to use.
Great. Now you've got me imagining Platinum Games making a level 5 game.
So yeah, every
Well,
single creature in the
hmm.
game actually has its own picture in the Wizard's Companion.
Well, hey,
And
Dwebs, the suit of...
if you stand on the single page for a bit on the picture specifically, the 3D model actually appears. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would you ever?
Well, hey, Dwebs, the Suda 51 could do a level 5 game. Who knows? Maybe Platinum Games may eventually do one.
I'm sure Tia would never think of this concept. Suda 51 making a level 5 game.
Well, we have
Which
that
That
already.
happened.
Yeah, it happened.
Iron
Yeah.
Maiden, Liberation Maiden.
Did you manage to decipher the Nazcaa runes, Ollie?
And then a weird sequel that was more of a visual novel.
Can you work out what it is?
It's
Answer the riddle.
yeah,
Exactly.
beat them.
Undertale.
Unleashed.
Unleashed.
It's the werehog.
That's right. Well done. I'm very impressed, Ollie. I got that answer from the year 2008. All you had to do was combine two of the simplest spells, Form Familiar and Gateway, to make a super duper one. Unleash!
Exactly.
It's a reminder that no matter how far you go, you should never forget the basics. Also, have I gone through puberty all of a sudden?
It's kind of fitting,
Keep that
actually.
in mind.
And solving it is proof that you've ready to learn another super duper spell.
The
Thunderga! I mean, Thunderstorm.
Direct compose, I wasn't finished.
Thank you, Horace.
That would have been actually useful against Porco Loco.
Yeah, what else?
Well, you can go back in here right after you save Ding Dong Dell and
I
before you
remembered the
buy the
ash.
Proco Loco. It's just that I didn't do it.
True.
So you know about the white ash that fell here too, do you?
Hard to miss.
That's ash, the nut. It turned all the people into horrible monsters.
Yep.
And when I saw it, I remembered.
Oh god,
Left
you
my
remembered.
oven on.
Alright, so let's see what he remembered.
That was how I died too.
Oh,
Dun, dun.
so he's from Nazcaa.
Cheapers.
Well, I never.
Did you not notice the bright light surrounding me? A long, long time ago, the same ash fell. It killed us all, but that's all I remember. The only other thing I remember is, why won't Ash win the bloody league?
That's a mystery to us all.
Never ever.
Ask the writers.
I heard that the big stone here was a monument to the Sage of Ages. So I thought if I came here, it might help me to remember.
Mm-hmm. We'll find out about who exactly Horace is later.
But I don't think this is where I died. The last thing I remember was people complaining about Sun and Moon's art style.
Wow, what a way to die.
What, in game or in anime?
The anime.
Let's just say, Horace, you were a victim of poor council member choosing.
Well, sadly,
You're bad at your job.
It's a shame, but we can't blame this all on the council, sadly. As much as they were dicks and kind of did help spark and ignite it,
Nah, you
they're...
know what? Let's do that anyway.
Well, we have to remember...
Esther put it very well in the previous part. We are not evil.
You know, I Pedro, you're still standing there looking at her. I bet he's like, I said that's it. You can go now.
See, there's a common saying here. No matter how evil someone is, the person who did the act is still the one to blame. Regardless of any other evil
You
forces.
can't call Tengri from here.
But we can call him from here.
There you go.
For a second there, yeah, I gotta say, from that position, it looked like Tengri ate them.
All right, and now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kingdom of Nazca.
Actually, no, this is just an isle.
Oh yeah, right.
It's only a model.
Side quests.
Should be the next continent,
Yeah,
actually.
there you go.
And
There you go.
There we go. However,
So this is all
despite-
that's left of it.
Yeah, but despite
Keep in mind, this was once a bustling kingdom full of sorcerers.
yes, dear,
And
what
that's
is it?
completely and the mana completely destroyed it. Go ahead.
Yeah, despite the area being cleared, you can still land on for now on a single spot.
For
And
some reason.
P actually told us what to do.
Mm-hmm.
We had to search a bird. There you go. And it's actually a stylized bird on the ground, in the same vein of those mysterious symbols in South America.
Oh hey, the overworld music's changed.
Yep.
Yes, Nazca has its own overworld theme.
I forget if this thing actually starts getting repaired in the post game or not.
It's when they got around to making the PS3 version, they actually brought back Joey Hisaishi to compose a few more tracks.
Well, I know that. What I'm saying is, like, I'm wondering if, like, if anything changes for this area in the post game.
No. This particular theme only plays here.
No, I'm not talking about the music. I'm talking about what's going on in the area.
Oh, right.
I think here doesn't exist in the DS version.
No.
No.
What I'm saying is that I'm wondering. What I'm
Covered in mist.
What I'm saying is that I'm wondering if the area changes in the post game. And when I say that, I mean you've actually completed this whole game. Like, well, if we say there's anything going
no, it
on here.
doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Oh well.
However, as you can see, there are more of these drawings on the ground of these animals.
Cassiopeia is the only one left anyway, so it's not like there's any people to.
Well,
add it.
obviously there's no people left. I'm just wondering if some people may be coming to renovate the place. You know, sort of like what a lot of RPGs do. You know, like when there's post-game stuff, they show that, hey, this old place that was lost is now getting rebuilt and whatnot, or, you know. So.
Hey, you're a ghost. Why do you have to run?
Well, actually, Albert, I'm not a ghost.
Yeah, she's actually not a ghost, believe it or not.
The one was with that aura surrounding her earlier.
Oh, that was the flower.
Basically, with this one, you can find these other pictures. Using the spell Rejuvenate, you can restore it to the former form, and basically it means that you can land you can land in that spot after this, so you don't have to do the whole long way to get to this place.
Kind of weird that we had this.
It's a bit of a shortcut.
Tengri can now land on the Nazcaa plains.
Never did understand why we couldn't have landed here first, bird or not.
It's for the sake.
Small artificial difficulty, Joe.
It's for the sake of having you face the newer, difficulter monsters.
Yeah.
Even though you have a spell that allows you to circumvent them.
There we go.
Bridge.
Bridge,
P, stop moving.
Superius.
P, please, P, stop.
P, what are you doing?
Jesus.
Oh god.
Having a spasm.
She's suffering from tail syndrome.
But Tails doesn't do a little merry jig every time he's standing still.
Adam.
Moriai. It's a Latin.
Yeah.
A
Because the
memory.
Japanese love fucking because the like you can't have anything involving ancient civilizations and ruins without Latin involved.
Is
Of
this
course.
an altar?
No, silly. They're my flower pots.
Flower pots, huh? Flower pots. A single flower in the man.
That's your cue, Drippy. Come on.
Maybe we need to put some in?
Ding ding ding! Bingo!
Well done, Esther. You win a cookie.
Congratulations, Esther. You know how to garden. That's right. Flowers in the flower pots.
Wow.
Well, we could try plunking something in there, I suppose. Can't that, can it?
Can we actually plant flowers in a
How
What?
about we throw Drippy in there?
But Drippy's not a flower.
They must serve some kind of purpose.
Alright, so yeah, if you noticed, if you've been paying attention to the names of the flowers, because every time we get a flower, the game tells us what the name of the flower is, that tells you what the order of the flowers is. Aldemo, that blue flower P gave us is glowing.
Flower of
Let's
Fate.
go
Yeah,
off rep.
the whole blue flower thing, it reminds me of a Hitler parody I saw that tells the story of a cursed blue flower that causes everyone who the boy who found the blue flower comes across to hate him. It ranges from his friends, it ranges from his teacher throwing him out of class, to the principal expelling him from school, to him nearly getting arrested by a police officer, to his parents disowning him.
Jesus.
Dang.
And so him and his friend decided to go to a library to research the blue flower, but they got hit by a truck and died.
Wow.
I love that particular line. By the way, where oh, cracky, the flower is glowing yellow. It's giving my lantern a run for its money. It is.
So the moral of the story was look both ways before crossing the street.
I guess.
Yeah, that's some Carlo Collodion style of educating.
Yeah, the guy who made the parody got the idea from because his PE teacher used to tell that story.
It's like those Canadians PSA commercials.
Which I kind of wish my PE teacher did that, but no one.
My PE teacher
Anyway,
did some stuff
with
like
all
that
those
too.
with all the free flowers inserted, this happens.
What you called it gym class over there, Jova.
We call
All
it
right,
Jim and
time for
PE.
one final flashback that will finally answer all questions about P and the White Witch.
Yes.
How'd you get that green hair?
Well, she was born with
well,
it.
She was born with it, Wibbs. Because
She's
the-
Maybelline. Oh, that was
Yoshiyuki Momose was designing her, and he thought, you know what, green hair goes really well with her dress.
Brace yourselves, everyone.
At last, Queen. Actually, that's you, Joe. Not now. Yeah. I forgot about this.
Right.
I have
You
returned to give you the music I know
What's
you
going
all
on, P?
want.
Yeah, P, what is going on? Go ahead, Joe.
All this time, I have been waiting here in Nazcaa.
Nazca? So
The
this is
Codex of Ultimate Wisdom.
If I were
What's a
voicing
paladin?
this one,
I knew
I'd have
it.
been playing
This island was the set of a Nazcan civilization.
If I were playing that voice, I'd have played my Casio keyboard every time he spoke. You know, to the old Casio.
What's a fairy? What? You knew all along?
Not for certain, but you must have seen them too, my dear brother.
Of course not, sister.
Marcus-
I mean, brother.
Marcus?
Sister.
Marcus? Go ahead.
The ruins on this island, they are clearly the remnants of an incomparably ancient civilization.
That's not my fault you look be shonen, okay?
They're the Cetras.
You can do your archaeological lectures later, Maya, not Professor Layton. What that voice we just heard? I'm not very much mistaken. That was Jerry? Cassiopeia, whatever.
Cassiopeia.
That's right, man. The queen, them flowers showed us, right?
My flowers, they guided you.
See? I flippin' told you.
Shh, she's trying to tell us something.
Yes, please pipe down, tiny yellow-green pill dot. I have been waiting. And now, here, where all began. Time has come. In my final act.
Why does it sound like it's like this guy's out of breath every time he speaks?
Alright, final flashback.
Marathon.
My solitude stretched before me, with no end in sight. All I had for company were my memories, the pieces of an ever more distant past.
Well, honey, if there's something I've learned from playing Lost Odyssey is that immortality fucking sucks, so I can see your pain.
For how many years this continued?
Shame you never thought to maybe try visiting a neighboring kingdom for company, but I guess as far as you knew, that was the only world.
Can it be true? Are you me? But why? Just who do you think you are?
Oh boy, she snapped.
What? What do you want with me?
Oh my god, there's that last bit of House Season 5.
I see. You
Actually,
came
no,
to
Dweebs.
accuse me.
They're
It's
high.
like that Doctor Who
To
episode
blame
with the
me
mirror.
for the loss of
Oh
all
boy,
those
I think we're
lives.
about to go high.
She literally went insane right now.
I shall banish you from my sight.
She banished her childhood from herself.
So there you go. That's what happened. Her loneliness and sadness eventually made her go insane and separated her identity into two personas.
Yeah, he
P
is basically a whole
and P and the White Witch. So the White Witch is actually the evil part of Cassiopeia. So there you go. And by the way, I love Jorizachi's theme for the White Witch.
We have awaited you. Your radiance.
Welcome to the Empire's theme there. Dun 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 dun
Well-
dun.
We need only choose when that instant shall be. We may shape the fate of the world as we will and start afresh whenever we please. That
Hey, it's not our fault you screwed up your own kingdom, but leave us out of your reboot madness.
I hereby call the council to order.
Hell, all lawsuits from Star Wars.
What was that? What did we just see?
Some weird shit trip with the repeat.
Yep.
Who'd have thought she'd turn out like that? So much for all those good intentions.
Well, that's what Hell's for is paid with.
She
Yeah.
was there with Cassiopeia. He was there. Cassiopeia is on her own, and she's very, very sad.
She has to deal with a Disney
Help her.
lawsuit.
Help Cassiopeia.
And that's they never flat out say it, but considering she specifically, I shall banish you from my sight. My guess is that's how Peep got into Oliver's world. The White Witch banished her there.
Speaking of which,
Look, up there.
Hey, Shiroi, guess. Look at that. A castle in the sky. Ha 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 ha. Basically, Dwebs, the very
there
first-
we go. Roll credits.
Ding.
Well, technically not. This is not Castle in the Sky, but
No. He literally said a castle in the sky.
When my radiant manner would start it anew.
Nana? You mean
Yes, it is I, the White Witch, arbiter of the fate of the world,
Title holder name of this very game.
and my right to bring this world to an end.
And by the way, I crushed Disney in their lawsuit. Now I own Star Wars.
White Witch?
Not if we beat you.
I am the one who decided that Han Solo isn't actually named Han Solo.
go ahead, Joe.
I'd like to thank you all for agreeing to meet at such short notice.
I find it interesting how the hell they got the Khalifa in here.
No, it's simple. She probably has her own airship.
It is not often that one is summoned to a place like this. One presumes it's a matter of gravest import.
Captain, not for nothing, but can we please hurry up this conversation? The weight of the big one's sinking our ship.
Indeed it is. We have identified the one responsible for the white ash that has so nearly destroyed our kingdom.
It was you.
She is, in fact, the owner of the floating palace you see before you.
And then the White Witch pulls her mask and reveals she was Don Paul all along.
The White Witch!
Dun, 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 dun.
Da-da.
No, Dweebs. She is the source of all this evil.
No, actually, I agree with Dwebs too. I actually can indeed agree. I see a bit of the Empire theme in it. Anyway,
One sees noble friends. It will seem the time has come for our three kingdoms to fight as one.
About time. Indeed. We would be grateful for any assistance you can provide.
awesome.
Just get the big one to just sit on the White Witch.
The peoples of the world must unite Our need has never been greater.
Couldn't I just sit on the White Witch and end the whole thing?
That would make for a very interesting final boss, now would it?
True. Pedro.
We are greatly moved by your calls to arms. A bull, return to Al-Mamoon at once and instruct the viziers to prepare for war. I know that viziers tend to be evil, so
But they're not the
be careful.
Sanka figure.
They're
Remember,
just
a
onto
bull.
something, like the final.
That's right. We shall need
summon
floaty
power.
things, swoopy things, and plenty of shooty things.
Remember, guys, a bull.
Command, your majesty.
Remember, Pedro, a bull. Remember,
The bull is
Pedro,
like,
a
what
bull.
the fuck am I doing with my life?
Remember, Pedro, a bull himself is a vizier, and he hasn't done anything
one
evil.
cannot very well shirk one's responsibility at a time like this. You shall have the finest soldiers the Nondel has to offer.
What were you gonna say, Siri?
Just summon the Canleafer as your final attack, and she just piled ice from the top of the ceiling or some shit.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Alright. As I said, prepare. This is end game. Basically, this is your one of your final chances. You can still go back from the final dungeon. There will be one final big warning of this is it. Are you ready? But this is the game telling you. Okay, do you think you're strong enough to fight a White Witch?
Yeah, the game is very general in terms of warning you when it's the last moment.
Anyway, Pedro, is there
Listen,
a
boy,
reason-
we have all hands on deck here.
Oh my god, Kublai actually has a line.
Meaning things are under control, so save your energies. Your job is to defeat the White Witch. Let my crew take care of everything else.
Well, if it makes you feel any better.
Now get some rest. We strike at dawn.
But it's
Very good.
the middle
What
of the
did you say,
day.
Pedro?
You don't mind sleeping on the deck, do you?
Yeah, Pedro?
Hold on.
Rest while you have a chance, boy.
Basically, free in without any cost.
Well, Terry, if it makes you feel any better, remember when they need to do the assault on the castle, Kublai is the one leading the ship
True.
crew.
Well, yeah. Still, though,
So he has a role to play.
It did seem really weird, though, that he was literally in those scenes without him talking.
Yeah.
I have to
Those
agree with
scenes,
Tio on that.
Go ahead, what was it?
I was just gonna say are there any other particular reasons why the big one can't just sit on the castle or something?
Wait, sit
Because
on the castle. Dude, Dwibs, she's big, but she's not that big.
Okay.
Or just sit on the White Witch?
Because we need a final dungeon and a final boss whips. Go ahead.
But we've got
Theo.
the big queen,
No,
just get her to sit on
Leaves,
something.
that's because the game still plays it seriously for like 80% of it, despite its comedy. It will be like, for example, if in Final Fantasy IX the final boss will be defeated by the eating command of Quina. But you don't understand that reference, so I'll explain in a term that's more understandable to you. Basically, Dweebs, due to the fact that an RPG is still an RPG and it's still taking itself semi-seriously for at least the most part, because you know the threat is still real and everything. It needs to be played straight even up until the end. If he has just a suddenly anticlimactic ending for the sake of comedy with no build up whatsoever, it just risks to not be funny at all. It will be like what Pedro may suggested, like a compile hard game.
Yeah.
Wait,
or
wait.
as Joe pointed out really well in our playthrough, some of the alternate endings of Final Fantasy XIV too. I remember
True,
Jova's
that's
specific
actually
line.
true.
To quote Jova's exact line, Dwebs. So let me get this straight: an apocalyptic future, and we end with comedy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no. Actually, what Pedro said is actually more fitting. So yeah.
What happened
It
there?
would
Did
be
Sarah
like-
Basically,
It's
Dwibs
like
for...
the game ending with
Basically, Dwibs for context, the two protagonists of Final Fantasy XIII-2 lose to a monster that pretty much takes over the world, and then we have a comedic ending where they're supposedly gonna poison him, but we never actually see it. But it's all just comedy!
I thought you were gonna say the monster wins by farting on the main characters.
You wish.
Witch face.
But no, Dweebs, it has deflector shield still up.
It is strange.
We had another Harry Potter parallel. there's a giant barrier protecting it from protecting a certain place from attacks. And I'm stretching a bit on this one, but whatever. The area portals have been around, so I'll just use this one.
Barrier! Barrier!
I'm sorry, Pedro. That guy who just jumped off. Because if he misjudged the jump. Oh no!
After all, I am playable at this point.
Yeah, translation. I'm still playable, so please let me come in.
Yeah, and Wibs, like, because of my terrible depth perception, I do that in Splatoon all the time.
Oh.
It is me falling off the edge, and there was one time I caught it happening to someone else, then it's so amusing just to watch somebody try to shoot at you and they just fall for the floor.
So basically, Shiroi, assuming that you're a boss in a video game, the weakness to go for is your field of view.
Basically.
Well, not so much field of view, but
so you're like, so you're saying, Shiro, that you're just like a sentinel in the first Metal Gear. You have tunnel vision.
Well, not so much tunnel vision; it's her peripheral vision. She can
Not
actually.
so much tunnel vision. It's just so much crappy
I'm
vision.
very tired.
She can apparently see rather good down the scopes of a gun. It's just the fact that the world around her, she has trouble judging the distances in and out. Think of it like if you were seeing it, if you were seeing the world as you would through a globe. Everything would seem a bit distorted with its proportions.
Oh, really? Yes, I thought that might be the case.
Big liar. You were scared out of your wit.
I'll just go up ahead and kiss you two.
You're clearly hysterical.
You guys.
Isn't she a bit young for him though?
We don't know.
Jova's just like give it a few years.
Like I've said before, I'm pretty sure he intends it for a big brother little sister kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So many robots.
Right.
Those robots are actually part of a post-game side quest.
Yeah, I know.
What is it with the big bad guys always having long corridors?
They need something to support their egos.
Maybe they're compensating for
We'll
something.
see more of a castle in the next part.
See you, everybody.
Maybe she is compensating for something.
Indeed. See you, everybody.